Victoria's Secret, a return to the beautiful, sexy angels. We're going to do an article. Why is that important? External beauty, objective beauty, classical beauty is important to a society. Truth, beauty, goodness. Internal beauty, external beauty, they're both important, that we have an objective definition of beauty. Now, Fox Business wrote this: Victoria's Secret ditches prioritizing wokeness over sexiness after sales drop. Well, of course it dropped, but let's look at lingerie chain. Lingerie is supposed to be pretty sexy, right? Victoria's Secret is reported, and the brand was sexy, right? Victoria's Secret is the sexy brand, the beautiful woman brand, the angels, is reportedly ditching its woke feminist makeover of recent years as it hasn't translated to business success. Well, we knew that, right? You're smart, you knew that. We knew it wouldn't be successful. In fact, I got a call from a girl, beautiful girl, sexy girl, who shops there and didn't want to go in the stores anymore. So they actually alienated not only myself and men that like to shop there for girls, but the girls that shop there that were pretty and aspiring, right? It's an aspiration brand. You desire to be an angel, or you desire to date one. That's their image, that's their beauty, that's their business model. And it's also important to society. What do Marxists try to attack? John Wilson. Truth, beauty, goodness. And in this sense, they're attacking the truth of beauty, that there is an objective beauty. The Marxists are attacking that. The feminists are attacking that. And they're attacking truth. If you like this video, please hit the notification button, like, subscribe, so we can send you more, and share it so we can get these out. Thank you. The truth of beauty and beauty itself. Is there a classical definition of beauty? Yes, and we're going to go through some of them. A modern take on beauty, which still is in the classical sense, and some past examples of Italian Renaissance, paintings, art, beautiful women. There's an objective standard of beauty, and it's important that society retain that. Marxists want to confuse you, right? Change the definition, destroy. Critical theory, what? Destroys beauty, destroys women. And it's not just an attack on beauty, it's an attack on women. And you want to direct your hopes and ambitions toward being something better, right? An aspiration. The images give women something to aspire to. Looking for the best for men to get married, to then have a family. Capturing men. And take a look at the angel in perfection. Now that's the perfection. What is that? Symmetry, proportion. That's beautiful. Beautiful in the classical sense. That's perfection. Since the brand decided to move away from its hypersexualized image, huge mistake. Huge.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
Businessfashion.com described in a recent article, Victoria's Secret has had a significant revenue. Again, we're not shocked, right? You guys are smart. You girls are smart. We could have predicted this, and we did predict it, actually. We predicted it would be a disaster, and it's been a disaster. As such, it has looked to revamp and bring back sexiness. Well, thank goodness. Let's bring back sexiness. Never should have gone away from sexiness. And this is that cultural Marxism trying to destroy beauty in women, femininity, because that's soft, feminine. It's a lot more to it than just external beauty, but external beauty is important in society. Makes you happier. It's to destroy beauty, to confuse, to create disorder. Marxism does that so that we don't have an objective value of beauty, so that you can make it whatever you want. And we can go more into that. The outlet noted in a piece that was also published by editorial partner CNN, Kathleen Chen reported that the brand's efforts to promote inclusivity, which included making LGBTQ pro-women's soccer player and outspoken. Now, here's a bad person to be a model for you, or to be a brand personality for you. Leftist Megan Rapinoe. Now, your market at Victoria's Secret is probably not a leftist market. It's probably girls that are aspiring to be pretty, or pretty girls, right? As well as, or girls that are attracted to men too as well, right? As well as a, get this, transgender woman. Foolishness and Marxism combined. Men cannot be a woman, so that denigrates women. That's the wiping out of women. That's the attack on women. And this is, attack on beauty is an attack on women, right? Because that's a commodity, and there's a value of beauty. French know that. French filmmakers know that. But of course it's a plan, and it's working, and they try to confuse. Brand spokesman in getting rid of the famous angel supermodels. Huge mistake. Famous supermodels really gave them a clear identity and brand. And take a look at this shot. That was a famous shot. So gained favorable reviews from, who did it gain favorable reviews from? Online critics, but it never translated into sales. Of course not. Bots, social justice warriors, and Marxists probably are not going to shop there anyway. Your market's like the girl who called me and the other girls who said, I never want to go into Victoria's Secret again. And I didn't want to go shop there. If men going in on Valentine's Day to buy their girl something sexy, at Christmas to buy their girl something, at their birthday, at other times during the year. So it drove me out of the store because I don't want to support a Marxist attack on beauty, because behind it, the root, really, they're trying to destroy external beauty. It's an attack on truth, beauty, goodness, and the internal beauty, the external beauty as well. We've talked about the internal beauty and goodness. This today is about external beauty, and it's important. According to the numbers, the lingerie brand's projected revenue for 2023 is $6.2 billion, which is 5% lower than it was last year. Again, not shocking to you smart people out there, and even lower than 20 when the brand's revenue was $7.5 billion. So watch how it's deteriorated and declined. The drop in Victoria's Secret sales also followed the company's move to make its board of directors mostly female. Now look, meritocracy, we're for the meritocracy. So if people are good, it doesn't matter what your color is, doesn't matter whether you're male or female, right? So, but going to all female, how did that help? It didn't help them, it hurt them, right? Hurt the brand. That seems to be the case. In 21, Rapinoe called out what the brand had been before the revamp. Did they put social justice warriors on the board, by the way? Or leftist? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. Rapinoe called out what the brand had been before the revamp, claiming it had sent out a really harmful message that was patriarchal, sexist, viewing not just what it meant to be sexy, but what the clothes were trying to accomplish through a male lens and through male desire. Well, who are you trying to attract? No, it was probably offending to yourself, because maybe you feel badly about yourself. And by the way, women want to look good, and they want to look good in public for other women too, and in private for men, right? They're trying to attract men and get married, some of them, or trying to get a date or whatever the case. So in the bedroom, they want to be sexy for their husband or boyfriend or whatever that is. So it's called sexiness, being beautiful. Most women are trying to attract men, and they want to look good in the bedroom. So Victoria's Secret fit that mode. Bras and panties are mainly going to be seen by whom? Men, right? Boyfriends, husbands. And by the way, it helps creating the next generation and populating the society, right? So it's a good thing. Attraction is important for men in a relationship. Sexy can be classy and elegant too, showing just the right amount, not too much, right? So you can be sexy and elegant. Quote going on, and it was very much marketed toward younger women. The U.S. women saw, well, younger women are probably trying to attract men to get married, right? Probably all ages are, right? So and women can be beautiful at any age. I remember seeing Raquel Welch at like 78 below the Grand Havana in Beverly Hills. She was a beautiful woman at 78. So women can be beautiful at all ages. Again, that goes back to what? Symmetry and proportion, and how well you take care of yourself. Because Raquel Welch was beautiful at 78. So women can be beautiful in their 70s. Quote going on. In the fashion outlet, Chen noted that the lingerie company's attempt to stop its financial drain body positive marketing causing was to bring back its runway show. All right, and you know who this is really good for, the runway show? Not me, not the men. I remember getting calls when the runway show would be coming up in LA, and girls would be saying, are you going to watch the show? I didn't even know it was on. Or if I did, it was sometime in December 6th, 7th, 10th, or something like that, 12th, I don't know. But you know who gets excited about the Victoria's Secret model show? Women. They're trying, and they want to see what looks good, right? So they want a real show that looks good, not a feminist leftist show. They want to see good-looking women wearing good-looking clothes and modeling them so they can go buy them. That's your market. That's your consumer. And girls would be calling, cheering. It's like their Super Bowl, right? So for women, the Victoria's Secret model show was a big deal. So going on. And blend the sexiness of the brand that had become famous for with some of the more inclusive initiatives. Now look, meritocracy, it doesn't matter really your color, you can be beautiful at an older age. So what really matters is, do they have the symmetry and proportions, and do they look like an angel, not their color? So you can have inclusivity as long as it fits that symmetry proportion model of an angel, right? Now, let's define it and take a modern day article written by Teresa Opdyck, And her article's title, Attractive People, How Society Defines Physical Attractiveness. This is a modern day article, and we'll go into some older classical articles about beauty, because I think it's important to know the definition of beauty, because there are objective standards of beauty. Quote, each person, this is from Teresa, a woman wrote this, each person may have specific attracting magnets, but the overall look plays an important role. Of course it plays an important role in society, right? The number one criteria for beauty, she says, this is a woman, to scientists and researchers, comes down to what do you think? Talked about it before. Symmetry. And that's what Marxists want to destroy, that there's no objective value. Symmetry. A beautiful face exhibits what? Perfect symmetry, ladies and gentlemen. One side mirrors the other, she says. Think proportionate when it comes to the body and the face. So you want proportion and symmetry. So there's an objective standard of beauty. That's the point. Marxists want to destroy it. Critical theory wants to destroy everything so that we have no truth and no beauty. Huge eyes on a small face appear out of proportion. Small, narrow eyes on a full face become lost and insignificant. Lips should be full in proportion with the rest of the face. A small mouth that barely extends beyond the nostrils is considered less attractive. A small nose beats a large one every time. The preference for smooth skin and long hair, by the way, whenever your girlfriends tell you cut your hair, no, long hair is sexier to men. And it comes down through the ages with adjectives such as alabaster, milky, creamy being used when describing someone's complexion. So see, through the ages, that has been the classical definition of beauty. There's a classical definition. And by the way, the softness on a woman in the internal can be, and femininity can be beautiful too, but we're talking about external beauty today and how you dress. Back to physical. Males prefer a shapely feminine body with correct bust to waist to hip ratio, bust to waist to hip ratio, right? In fact, that makes you want to reproduce with a woman, right? If they have hips and breasts, it just brings out that. A woman does not have to be pencil thin to be a part of the attractive people clique, but she must be proportionate. See, proportion, symmetry. The golden rule of proportions is the bust is 8 inches larger than the waist and the hips are 10 inches larger than the waist. A full bust with a slender waist and flaring hips offer a feminine physique. See, there's definitions, they're objective. In a physique that what? A mate looking for the mother of his children would find attractive, and that's true. We want society to reproduce, so this is good, right? So let's go to Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy on Beauty. And here's some classical definitions, which I think are interesting through history. This has stayed consistent with symmetry and proportion. That hasn't changed entirely. The art historian Heinrich Wölfflin gives a fundamental description of the classical conception of beauty as embodied in the Italian Renaissance painting and architecture. The central idea of the Italian Renaissance is that of perfect what? Take a guess. Proportion. See how proportion and symmetry keep coming back. While the Marxists want to destroy it, and you've seen this campaign by corporate America to destroy beauty with Marxism, to make it subjective, to have these women that are not proportionate and not symmetrical, that are way imbalanced, and they can be beautiful people on the inside. But there is a classical definition of beauty for models, and you've seen this push. This is a Marxist push on our society to destroy the definition of beauty, and it's important that we know this. This is very important, actually, because they want to destroy not just beauty, but truth and women.
They said I was too fat. Only skinny girls can dress women.
They said I was too masculine, boyish, and ugly. When they were talking about female, they weren't talking about me.
This was not pretty.
They would holler from across the street.
Look sophisticated.
Embarrassing nose. Too chubby.
Was too skinny.
Manly.
Crazy hair.
Never looked good. My beauty.
My beauty. My beauty.
My say.
Making a man a model for women is foolishness, and it's an attack by Marxism on truth. Men cannot be women. Therefore, they can't be a beautiful woman. All right. The central ideal of the Italian Renaissance is that of perfect proportion in the human figure, as in the edifice. The epic strove to achieve the image of perfection at rest within itself. So we're talking about proportions for beauty. Let's go on to the Stanford Encyclopedia on Beautiful. The classical conception is that beauty consists of an arrangement of integral parts into a coherent whole according to proportion, harmony, symmetry, and similar notions. This is Western conception of beauty. So there's a Western conception of beauty through time. And it's embodied in the classical and neoclassical architecture. By the way, what else do they attack? Buildings, architecture, paintings, all this modern nonsense. Sculpture, literature, music. They try to destroy music, art, literature, films, everything. The Marxists attack beauty, true, good, beautiful. Aristotle says in the Poetics that to the beautiful, a living creature and every whole made up of parts must present a certain order of arrangement. So you're expecting a certain order of arrangement. Aristotle, volume 2, 2322. And in metaphysics, the chief forms of beauty are order and what else? Symmetry. We talk about symmetry and definiteness. So feminists and social justice warriors and Marxists are trying to destroy truth and beauty, trying to change the definition of external beauty, saying it's all subjective. Well, it's not. So people want to see beauty. It takes us out of our everyday normal lives. It's fantastic. Proportion. The angels are well proportioned and they're symmetrical, aren't they? So there's a reason for these angels. There's a reason they're beautiful. There's a reason they're called angels. It's an aspiration. An angel is what? Magnificent. So there's a word, angel, that means something to you. It's supposed to be magnificence, symmetrical, proportioned. Why would God create something that is not? Okay? Proportions count for beauty. And there was a symmetry test done on babies where they were attracted and gravitated toward the most symmetrical faces, and it didn't matter on age. So you can be symmetrical at any age and beautiful at any age. It's about the symmetry and the proportions. So symmetry counts for beauty in that classical sense. And this is an attack on that. And it's important we defend against. We want a definition of beauty. We want to know objective values of beauty. So how we see beauty is important. And we've talked about the internal beauty, internal femininity, that's beautiful softness of a woman. The virtues, we've talked about the virtues. This is not a day about the internal virtues that produce an external character. The true, the good, the beautiful, all trying to be destroyed by the Marxist. So we must recognize external beauty, internal beauty, and the beautiful virtues. Now, back to the Stanford Encyclopedia again. Canon of the sculptor, late 5th, early 4th century BCE. The canon was not only a statue deigned to display perfect proportion, but a now lost tryst on beauty. The physician Galen characterizes the text as specifying, for example, the proportions, again back to the proportions, of the finger to the finger, and the fingers to the metacarpus, and to the wrist, and all those to the forearm to the arm. So proportion and everything. For having taught us that the tryst, the symmetry of the body. So again, it goes back to symmetry. I'm just going through these examples. It stayed pretty consistent about symmetry through history. The canon. It is important to note that the concept of symmetry in classical text is distinct from and richer than its current use to indicate bilateral mirroring. So proportions, harmonious, measurable. And Plato describes virtuous souls as what? Harmonious, right? And then if you look at and read Ethics, we've gone over Aristotle. We're not going to stop here long. But what? It's a balance of courage, right? And that's the beautiful too, right? So there's internal, external, right? But there's an external beauty that's objective. And that's what we're focused on. The ancient Roman architect, Vitruvius, epitomizes the classical conception in central and extremely influential formulations. So again, he goes back to proportion and symmetry here. So these are just different examples of proportion and symmetry through history. Order is the balanced adjustment of the details of the work separately. So again, in art too, proportion implies a graceful semblance, the suitable display of details in their context. This is attained when the details are of height suitable to their breadth and a breadth suitable to their length. Again, symmetrical correspondence, right? Symmetry is also the appropriate harmony arising out of the details of the work. So you have all this. Aquinas said this in a typically Aristotle way. He says there are 3 requirements for beauty. Number 1, first, integrity or perfection. For something as impaired as ugly. So the angels have this perfection, right? This integrity. They're perfect. The Alessandra girl. There's a due proportion or consonance. Also, clarity, when things are brightly colored, are called beautiful. Ever notice how the new artists want to blur things and it's not as clear? Clear art. Clarity, number 2. Brightly colored are called beautiful. Francis Hutcheson in the 18th century gives what well may be the clearest expression of the view, what we call beautiful objects to speaking the mathematical style of ratio, uniformity, and variety. So you see, back to the article, Rapinoe, she described that Victoria's Secret, the Tour 23 as a display that fell somewhere in between the personification of male lust and the brand's aughts. No, it's what women want to see, they called me, and the article suggested, and it shows it. It doesn't suggest it, it shows it. The numbers went down. It's been proven out and bared out that this is what women want. It's aspiring. It's an aspiration brand. You aspire to be that. You aspire to date that. Beautiful and sexy, seeing sexy. Victoria's Secret and Pink brand president Greg Unis summed up this new direction for the company, reportedly telling investors sexiness can be inclusive. Sure, doesn't matter about color. It's symmetrical and proportion, right? And beauty, and we know what it is. We know what it looks like. The Marxists aren't going to take that from us. Don't let the Marxists take that from us. Get on the freedom side. Get on the truth, beauty, goodness side. Chief Executive Martin Waters also reportedly admitted that the inclusivity initiatives were not profitable. Well, if it's inclusive, it still has to be symmetrical and proportionate and beautiful and magnificent. An angel is supposed to be magnificent. So I saw some of the pictures of that one show, and it was ridiculous and foolishness. Was that on purpose? I don't know. But anyway, to show them how foolish they were, perhaps it was undone on purpose. I don't know. But the point is that wasn't beauty, right? That was not proportionate, not symmetrical. And that wasn't the brand. And it didn't bring them customers. And good looks are a commodity in our society. You look at something beautiful, it can make you feel better. It's good for our society. Beauty is a great asset and it's valuable. There's an objective beauty. People know it when they see it and they have value. It's a huge asset in the society and we need it. We need a true definition of beauty. We need objective standards of beauty. Don't let the Marxists destroy that. Critical theory destroys beauty. Critical theory destroys truth. The true, the good, the beautiful are important. And really what this is a Marxist, progressive, leftist attack on beauty, external beauty, on truth too, because they're confusing the definition of classical beauty. Let me just end with this. It's really an attack on beauty, truth, and goodness, external beauty, internal beauty, the virtues, and everything. That's what Marxists do. Thank you. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you.